łudźnika.
Welcome back to Pro League 2016. We've had some pretty cool games so far. Really, that PvP is something that everybody who wants to understand PvP, well, not a little bit, a lot better, should check out.
Oh, yeah.
That was that really made me think.
SOS giving us kind of all a lesson, even though he didn't win.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, he's really thinking outside the box, and that's really what he's been useful for in terms of people studying, but also the way he's won a lot of his games, you know?
Well, I mean, it's a game that really makes you think, right? I mean, I'm not trying to take the spotlight off of Zest here because Zest played very well, but that was really cool to see. Definitely tell your friends to check that out if you want to study PvP. It's certainly a game worth taking a look at.
Well, we are going to go into Trap versus TY now, PVT. You can see TY's got a lot of experience in Pro League. Has been here for quite a while. He's part of the 100 Wins Club.
Going with the thinker pose there.
Yeah. Trap trying to look...
Liberators or Medivacs is what he's asking himself right now. Trap is also a fantastic player. He's had some misses the last couple of times that I've been casting him here. Looking very, very good, but you know, a lot of times he seems to have these games won or the idea's there, but the execution is not.
And it's kind of been that way for a while. I mean, he's had some times where he's really been out in the spotlight and done some decent work, but has always pretty consistently been in that 4th place spot for Jin Air. Hasn't really surpassed anyone else like Maru, SOS, or Rogue on this team just yet. But he's good for a 4th spot, you know. Pretty solid in general.
Now, I think everybody that's watching this is probably assuming TY is going to win, and you're probably right. If he doesn't, that's a big surprise. But Trap is certainly somebody who's capable of taking TY out. It's not an impossibility.
Yeah, I was wondering whether or not anyone picked Trap, but in fact it is another 7-0, like our first game tonight.
Well, I mean, some of these, like with Maru or TY, I mean, you would be a little bit silly if you didn't think they were going to take it. By the way, our map is going to be Ruins of Seras. So a big map. Could be a short game, could be a long one, hard to say. In PvT, this match has been pretty crazy. The game is loaded up. Let's do this. Trap versus TY here at the SPL. In the bottom right, in the green, Trap. In the upper right, in the red, TY.
So we got our vertical spawns here. We could see those liberators you were talking about. Maybe a little drop-a-rooney. TY wants to get a bit fancy.
Cheeky.
Yeah.
Cheeky. If you were Apollo, it'd be cheeky.
Moonglade too, man. He'd say the same thing.
Yep. Now, we have seen, I believe it was in a Terran versus Terran earlier this year, we saw TY do a pretty cool one-base build in these spots. I don't know if we'll see that this time around, but keep in mind, TY is one of those guys that can pull out a build that you'd only use like one time on one map in certain positions, and he'll have that down perfectly.
Yeah, I remember Expedition Lost right before we cycled that map out. He did a really nice tank build against the Zerg. I don't remember who the Zerg was. Might have been Losira, but he shreked that guy, man. It was not close. And everybody's like, wow, you're a genius. And then he never used that build ever again.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, it's done. It's like those guys, I forget, there's some tribe that makes like these, it might even be they do this in India. They make art out of sand that takes like a week to do.
Yeah.
And then right when it's done, they destroy it.
They don't save it or anything.
No,
they're just like, oh,
I think in some cases you're not allowed to take photos of it. They have all these dyes in the sand and everything else. And
wow.
I mean, I might not be doing this justice. I'm sure somebody could tweet this at us, but Yeah, that's like what that is, right? They do this build once, and he's like, okay, that's it. I'm not going to – it's already been out. Now that it's out there, I'll remove this. I'll go back and do other builds and maybe pull this out.
Must be something about the, like, creative process in terms of that Sans idea you were talking about, where it's like, okay, I got my idea out there. I did my creative work. Here it is. Everybody who was present got to see it, and now it's gone forever.
That's what it's
for.
Like
it goes back into the earth.
Yeah.
You know?
That's part of the artistic experience is you get to only see it once and keep it in your mind's eye.
You know?
But that's sort of what a lot of TY's builds remind me of, is that it happens once, and I've got 1,000 questions I want to ask him, but he's probably not going to use it again. Maybe not unless he sees it.
You wouldn't even mention it, man. You don't want to talk to him about that.
Oh, did he?
It's a big-time secret.
Okay, I was about to say, did he not see that SCV? But he did. Let's see what the SCV can actually find here. And right now he's so mad. He says, "Oh, they should never have changed the adept. If this was the old patch, that wouldn't have gotten there." So he goes in there. He sees the Robotech.
Kind of unfortunate. You could see Trap was really trying to pull those probes to get that last hit, but they were just coming out on the wrong side of the minerals. They were just a little bit too late, sleeping on the job.
And I'm sorry, go ahead, please, Valdez.
Just so he gets the scouting information there on the Robo.
Warp Prism coming up now for Protoss. Not surprising to see him doing a Warp Prism tech. And actually going to get a support bay here as well. This might be a funny-looking game because I think they're both going to end up dropping each other at roughly the same time. Perhaps Protoss gets there slightly quicker. By the way, good reactions there from Trap to pull that away.
Yeah, man, if I were playing that game, that probe is dead. No way.
If Tasis were playing this game, there would have been like 50 adepts out there and the army would have died. That's just the difference between me and Trap.
You have a hidden base on the left side of the map.
I've already got
doing
Tempest
a
shooting his mineral. Yeah, I've already got Tempest there shooting his mineral line.
So how do you have that? You have one base. You're like,
And then I just put my one finger over my lips and I go, shh, and I make him tap out in a GG. Okay, so the adept drop is coming up here. He should have to pick up here. Okay, well, not if he just ignores it and then just goes in and tries to drop right over here. Now, this is a pretty tricky situation right now for Protoss because I don't think anybody expected him to just send this down here. I don't believe there's actually enough to defend against the 3 Hellions.
Well, he's going to have an overcharge here, maybe a couple.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he just goes around that.
Yeah.
I think he just play around overcharge here, and this means a lot of probes could be picked off.
No, the ones that the naturally desperately trying to warp in an adept, but they're all lining up now.
Oh my God, so much damage being dealt here. And he picks up there. Not
and he got 10 probes over that.
Yeah. Okay. Now, see, that's TY in a nutshell for you, right? Because I wasn't sure how that was going to go. I thought he just unloads and drives that out, but he looks at that and he's like, I know this exactly. And he says he can actually hold that off, meanwhile boost the medevac down there and start killing probes.
Yeah, he's not done. He's coming back in here. Got a nice surround, actually, on the Heli and messes that up. Wasn't expecting that. These Hellions are getting way too much damage. What is going on?
So total, that was 15, right?
Yeah. 15 probes for 3 Hellions.
Now, we're going to have a drop over here from the Warp Prism with a Disruptor in here. This is similar to like what a Reaver drop looked like in Brood War. And you can easily catch up with 15 kills here on Workers. Frankly, it's not that difficult to do. So let's see if Trap can do that. However, if he does lose the Warp Prism with this in here, then that's going to be a problem as well.
Yeah. No stim just yet.
Oh, he's coming up. Build. He's coming up.
Disruptor's coming in, going for the SCVs.
Okay, you are not Stork. That is not. You do not have
Trap, you do
not have a license to use those disruptors.
Yeah. Let me see your Stork license. Where is it, Trap?
No kidding.
And now he's going to have a Viking out here to push this Warp Prism away. It's been revealed.
Well, the problem is that he actually it's in the upper right, so it might not even get pushed out. It might be killed.
Well, here we go again.
Cooler looks that it is actually damage that's been dealt. He's going to try with the Warp Prism now. Now, he did get the speed upgrade, so this is going to zip out of here much more quickly.
Well, we got a drop coming across the map. Does look like there are some units in position. He's going to go for the main, though.
Okay. Now, this shouldn't do as much damage as some of the previous attacks up here, but he definitely could catch Protoss off guard. It'd actually be better if he went for the Disruptor if he sees it. Okay, nice pickup.
forces an overcharge. Just very, very safe with the drop, not overcommitting. Ooh, nice.
Yeah, now he comes down over here. Oh! That was 6 kills.
Yeah, not bad. Almost loses 1 disruptor, but he's finding that damage while he is defending.
And, you know, something important to note here is right now Trap's ahead at probes compared to the SCVs here. So he's actually starting to make this really work. He's going to go ahead and chase down this one Adept, and he will be able to pick this off.
Yeah, that was really nice. It does look like there's a pylon out in the middle of the map as well. Could use that a little bit later if he wants to overcharge and defend, or I guess go for a slow warp. And we do have this warp prism coming back.
Okay, now is this going to be an overextend, or will this do the damage he's to do? Oh! Big plays.
Oh, man.
Huge plays there. I expect.
Turns out, in fact, he is Stork. They swapped out after that one drop. He's like, okay, let me handle this.
He takes off his face at Mission Impossible style, and it's Stork under there. Well, hold up. He's still got the Warp Prism. He has to get out of here, or he could just drop again with it. Okay, he takes that out. Pretty big. But that did do a good amount of damage.
He got a big chunk of Marines in there as well, not even counting the 9 SCVs.
That was pretty huge. Marines are a bit more expendable than the Disruptor and the Warp Prism. I think Terran's going to be pushing shortly here. We don't have, do we have another command center? I wasn't looking for it. I don't believe he has one sitting in his main. So this should be a 2-base push.
Yeah, he doesn't have one.
Okay, so this is just a 2-base timing push, which is pretty big. Now, how does this work against Disruptor and everything else Protoss has? That's going to be the interesting question. Now, again, just like Brood War, you're going to keep this always inside the Warp Prism, and you're going to drop it. And here we go! Good dodge. Good dodge.
Nice reaction time out of both of these players, actually, throughout the game. Got to be careful about that Warp Prism.
Okay, now he might want to drop tanks in here first. And kind of funny placement here with his army. Looks like he's almost ready to give up a second here.
Oh, the feedback takes out the Raven.
So good. Okay, he's coming up again. Nice pickup. Dodges that on the low ground here. However, there's nothing to really defend. In fact, he could lose that command center. Terran's going to try to push in here, but I'm not sure how effective this is going to be.
Yeah, if he can take out that Viking, and here comes the Disruptor shot. Really nice shot. A lot of Marines still left over, and even a tank in this now.
Now, if Protoss loses the main, it's huge, okay? All the tech is in here. However, Terran's already lost the expansion. Oh! Oh my god, I actually got confused. I thought they died, and then they actually got picked up.
They went into the medevac.
Yeah.
Came back to life.
Okay, so he's starting to take on these other additional structures here. The Disruptor's going to try to come in again. Can they do the damage that they need to do? He actually bruised him pretty badly here. Mothership Core going to go down. Once again, he's... Oh my god, okay, this is crazy. He actually takes out the 2 Disruptors. Warp Prism's still alive. He needs to go down the last Warp Prism. He does do that. He takes out the Archons. Archons still on the low ground, unable to connect their shots here. However, Terran does not quite have enough to
He's got
hold up.
charged for these Zealots. He's going to have to pick up and back off now.
I was shouting so much during that last part there, the back of my neck hurts. Like the muscles hurt. Be pushing it out, Valdez. Okay, so recap on what happened back there. Terran, I think, suffered a huge loss and has to end this immediately if he wants to win. Protoss held his main, lost some tech, lost some units. Whereas Terran killed off some Protoss units, but yeah, I mean, economically, he was hit pretty hard. However, as far as supplies go, they're both pretty even, so I guess after all that said and done, this game could even perhaps normalize. I didn't see that he actually floated his main to that 3rd base, but yeah, when I see that, I say, yeah.
He also kept his natural orbital alive as well. He kind of saw the base trade coming, and he was okay with it. Kind of unfortunate there, loses a High Templar. And he was really preparing for this next stage of the game, so he's definitely not out of it yet, but takes a bit of damage there. 4 SCVs go down.
Now, one thing that's tough for both Protoss and Terran at this point in time is it's not clear where you're at. You've had so many workers killed throughout this game, so much of your army, significant and insignificant portions chopped off that you might not know if you're ahead or behind. So both the players are playing very cautiously. It's one of the reasons why we didn't see the remaining Disruptor actually used in that Warp Prism. He decided he actually had to go ahead and keep that back there, and instead use the Zealots and the Archons to come in there. Liberators are coming up, which might be a little bit trickier here for Protoss to deal with. Protoss has been primarily focused on anti-ground for most of this game, whereas the Terran army is a little bit more versatile.
TY just keeps losing these supply depots. Actually had one with a supply drop. Wasn't paying attention there, lost a couple of his zealots, but they did their job. Gonna supply block TY again.
Looks like he might be able to come up here. Does he not? Okay, yeah, I was gonna say he has to know. Good job, takes out the Templar. Gonna get some of these workers as well. And in the nick of time, he should be able to actually pick up and just leave. Oh, no way. Feedback too good there.
Stayed a little bit too long. It's pretty unfortunate. Not sure if there's anything over here that has enough range to hit these Liberators.
Yeah, one thing these Liberators are going to do is keep the Protoss army from controlling the middle of the map, so Terran can actually move out a little bit more.
Yeah, nice little scan. The War Prism getting a little bit tricky, going towards the main of the Terran once again.
Oh! Can he actually take that out? Oh, that would be huge!
Oh, the missile turret does get it. Archon does hop out here.
Oh my god.
Do some damage. Gonna trigger one of those Widowmine
Okay,
hits.
he's still doing damage. TY doing what TY does best. His multitasking is fantastic. And he's going to drop over here. One feedback on the medevac, but the majority of this army does get out.
Yeah, that's
a
a big
if he
problem.
gets his forge, maybe that could be pretty big.
It's about to complete that armor upgrade.
Oh, armor pretty important at this point in time, and it does go down. He needs to pick up, though, and leave.
Yeah, this is where you pick up TY. He's still got those Liberators, by the way, at the third base. There's no mining there at all. Trap has no way to deal with that.
Pretty crazy stuff, man. He's going to unload over here. So far, TY has just been better at the multitasking overall. Completely secure base back here. Don't forget that Protoss lost that War Prism and is making a new one, so can't do anything until this War Prism, it finishes up. And, with two Liberators here, the difference is so much more than just one. It actually makes it much tougher for the Stalkers to come in here. We've also seen some pro gamers not quite used to that number that you have to have of Stalkers to actually engage this. So occasionally they send the Stalkers in and they still lose the fight.
Yeah, we'll see if Trap does fall to that same fate. TY, though, I mean, Trap really doesn't have much of an economy. He's barely mining at this point. TY is really saturated both bases. He's got a really nice army. He's got Ghosts on the way. Looks like he finally did lose those Liberators, but he's got a massive push coming Trap's way. And I don't know if Trap's going to be able to defend this. He's got no Storm. He's going to have Charge, no Blink. He's only now beginning to remake those Disruptors.
Yeah, kind of funny, right? Doesn't even have Blink yet.
Yeah.
It's actually been a pretty action-packed game, but one of the core techs that Protoss have has not even been developed because Trap's composition's been so technical, which can happen if you're ending up with these disruptors and the game doesn't go as smoothly as you've wanted it to. Now, with the Widow Mines out here, I think he wants to go ahead and push. No scan there over his army.
Yeah, it looks like he's searching on the left side of the map as well for a hidden base, and he's like, oh, you really are just that far behind. You don't have a hidden base.
All right, coming up here. Nice connections there with the Disruptor. Got to pick that up, keep that in the War Prism. Templars, Immortals, and Zealots going to come over here on the side. Not sure if Terran should be pushed here. It's actually kind of hard for me to say. I guess
very scary.
What he is doing is he's causing a distraction, and this Liberator will once again get over here. Not easy for Protoss to deal with that.
Looks like there is a pylon in position now, and actually a couple Stalkers. No pylons, just Stalkers. And that was the Mothership Core that I was looking at there. So this is, in fact, going to push TY very far back. Trap has retaken that third base, but TY getting his own fourth base.
Yeah, I think if TY just keeps playing it safe, he should just have a larger army overall than his opponent. The Warp Prism being used to survey the edges, the perimeter of everything that TY controls to see if there's anything, a little bit loose that he can go in there and try to assassinate. Right now, Trap trying to back up as he realizes he's going to have to probably just go into the long run here, although we don't see a fourth base from him yet, surprisingly.
We got a DT now coming up to the fourth base. It looks like TY may have recognized this. No?
He might just be playing it safe. Yep, there we go. Gets it. Trap not on top of that.
It's kind of funny you let him see it, I guess. Oh, that's really cheeky.
Well, we got tanks. Uh-oh. All right, he should know that there's something over here. Probably going to send an observer over here with the rest of his army to spot this. 137 to 172. Protoss is starting to hurt right now.
Yeah, he really is.
You know, it's not hard for Terran to get over to this bottom left location and just keep dropping this. And one thing about, you know, the difference between the drops and harass here is Protoss really can't afford to lose the Warp Prism and the Disruptor. If he does, the whole game's changed. Whereas Medivacs and Marines in them, they are more expendable. It is more forgivable to lose them.
So, do you have TY with the immense amount of Widow Mines right now, just, I guess, preparing for the large Chargelet army that is coming out of Trap. I mean, he doesn't have as many Chargelet sets he was, as it looked like he was going to have. He's adding in a lot more Immortals and Archons now in the mix. But either way, Widow Mine's not going to be bad against this mix.
Yeah, he's got enough Archons that, I mean, you know, with the clumped up Marines and Marauders, he could do some serious splash if the Terran isn't kiting correctly. However, he's mobile enough on the map. Oh,
that was so close.
My God.
And one Marine is actually...
He's going to get it.
It's actually... He has no Storm right now. He only has feedback. Those are 2 High Templar with full energy that just went down.
Yeah, a lot of Storms, a lot of gas, a lot of feedbacks. Not happening. And he's going to snap push down here towards the bottom center. Meanwhile, the Nexus not quite defended just yet. He's going to come up here. Can he save these Marines and Marauders?
Doesn't look like it, but the main portion of his army is going straight for the throat, Tasteless.
And he's going to come in right now, set up these liberation zones. And there's just not a lot that Protoss can do. Already out of position. It'll be so tough for him to get that. He needs to get this Warp Prism. He needs to do it quickly. Oh!
Warp Prism is still alive. He's going to try to go for the drop there and come from the back at the same time.
He's actually zoned that off of that ground area for quite a while now. Come in here. Beautiful EMPs, softening up that Protoss army with ease. What happened? I don't even know what happened.
Died over
was
there.
that the Warp Prism? I think that was the Warp Prism. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Warp Prism.
No Warp Prism left over.
Wow, talk about playing the footsies game here, just outmaneuvering him. And look at this, the army's being pulled back over here, so immediately he's going to jump onto the third base. Meanwhile, Protoss going in for a counterattack here.
Work.
I think TY just won the game.
Yeah.
We'll just have to double check over here with this attack at the Terran's third, but I would imagine he would have enough with the supplies. Yeah, for sure he's got enough.
Yeah, more than enough back here.
TY is so good. And you know what? This game was so close. It's crazy.
Whoa.
Oh my God, he got the observer.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
No more detection for you.
Well, Protoss is regrouping here in the center. I think Terran could actually regroup his entire army and try to just go ahead and push again here. Oh, man. Losing too many technical units too late into this game.
Yeah, it looks like that may have just been bad pathing, but you can't really afford to lose those units right now.
Okay, he's coming up now.
The tank on the run to survive.
And scans are coming down here. There it is, GG. Okay, that is exactly why TY is so hyped.
Yeah,
that game was played so well.
Trap had an extra base on him. Hadn't really started mining, but you know, they're pretty much on even bases. And then from there, TY just outplayed him, out-multitasked him, and pretty simply just pulled Trap apart.
Man. That was something else. I'll tell you, TY is going to be very happy with that game there, as well as his entire team. I thought Trap was going to win that for a good chunk of that game. He was doing a really good job with those disruptors doing that harass, but TY, he's got that tenacity. He has that ability to just hang on for dear life.
Yep.
And a lot of times, you know, it's like a foggy, cloudy, crazy, confusing game. But then when you start to look at the numbers after things calm down, you say, wait a minute, TY's like 40 supply ahead. He's had more workers.
Yeah.
He's just done better overall when you math out every engagement. He actually came out on top, and ultimately Trap, you know, there was not much he could do.
Yeah, look at Trap surrounded by all the Terrans and Protosses on his team. Just discussing what went wrong in that game exactly. I'm sure they're telling him, hey, you were even with this guy. You know, you kind of pulled yourself back with that really nice disruptor shot in the main that one time.
Well, you know, it's funny. There was so many moments in that game, especially when TY was pushing into the main there with the tanks. And trap had actually gotten him to lift his command center, his second base, and then it was actually TY making no money at all. Then eventually that army came back and he just double expoed and sent the remaining forces out there on that.
Yeah.
Seems like Terran could do some things like that because of the rate at which they mine out. If they 2-base power, they mine out their main and then they just move the third command center.